Hi everyone, it's Rachel with Rachel's Super Cute Creations, and I'm here today to show you how to make a bookmark. It's a bookmark tutorial with a little pocket, and so I'm going to show you a couple of ideas that I had. So this one's pretty simple. I'm just going to zoom out a little. It has a window here, and I just stamped some images in here. It's just from a book page. Here's the card. Can also be used in junk journals to journal on the back of. So this one right here is about 9 inches long. So it's definitely a good bookmark. And this one's a little bit shorter. I made this one a little bit shorter so that if I wanted to journal on the back, I could. So it's just a different type of pocket. This one's just a basic pocket with just a punch on the top. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started. I want about a 2-inch bookmark. So what I'm doing is, I'm going to zoom in here, is I took a 4-inch piece by 7 inches, and I'm going to use my tool to score it at 2 inches because I want to fold it over. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just glue this together. The reason why I'm doing this is because this is some thin cardstock. If you have thicker cardstock, this is just regular weight paper. If you have thicker cardstock, you will not need to do this. But I just want to go ahead and get this. Let me just line this up here. A little bit sturdier. And I'm going to go ahead and set this to the side so that it can dry while we're working on our next piece. So let's set that over there. And I need to get a baby wipe because I got glue all over my scoring board. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make the pocket for our we're going to make our pocket. And so for the pocket, I'm just taking a piece of dictionary page, and I just tore it out of the book, nothing fancy. I'm going to trim off this rough edge just to make it a little straighter. So when I trimmed that off, it makes my page almost 6 inches, not quite 6 inches, but almost 6 inches. So I have to think about how is my bookmark going to fit in here. And I just kind of roughly measure. And so it looks like I want to go ahead and I want to score at 1 3/4 and 3 3/4. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So I'm scoring at 1 3/4. And I'm doing this lightly because this dictionary page is old. And 3 3/4. So hopefully, if I did that correctly, I'm sorry, 1 3/4 and 3 5/8. I didn't think that was right. So 1 3/4 and 3 5/8. There we go. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and fold that in. And then I'm going to go ahead and fold this side in. All right. So this is going to make my pocket. And what I'm doing is I'm just kind of lining this up because I want to keep this distressed edge right here. as part of my pocket. So now I'm just going to take and see if this slides in. And it does. It slides in well. So now we have to decide what kind of top do we want. Do we want a top that's V-shaped like this, or do we want a top that is cut? So the next thing that we're going to do is, either way, the bottom is easy. I don't measure the bottom. I just fold it up about 1/2 inch. So you can see here, I folded it up about 1/2 inch. And I like to fold it both ways. So if this is going to be my back, I want to make sure that I fold this way. Okay, which means I have to keep this front tab. So I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut the edge right here. And then I'm going to cut just on the fold line that piece away. And then I'm going to cut a little triangle out on each side. And that's now going to make my bottom envelope when I'm ready for that. Okay. For some reason this is not liking. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove my scoreboard because I don't need it right now, and I'm hoping that, there we go. Okay. So I have to decide what kind of top I want. If this is my bookmark, I'm just trimming. I have a little bit of white, so I'm just trimming a little bit of that white away. I'm adding this little piece to the back in case I want to journal on it. And so this piece is 1 5/8 by 6 5/8. So I just took a little bit off each side so that it would fit. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do some distressing first. So I'm going to get out my Distress ink pad. And I know this is a dark purple, but I still want to distress the edges because the ends of this paper is white and the back of it is white, so you can see a little bit of the white through. And I'm going to just distress the edges of this just a little bit. This is just tea stained paper, just scrap that I had. I'm going to go ahead and adhere on here. Alright, so for this I'm just going to use a regular glue stick because I don't want a lot of wet glue on here. Sorry, I didn't mean to be out of the frame here. I'm just adding this glue stick. I'm going to go ahead and add this to the back of my bookmark. And then I want to do a little bit of stamping. So I'm going to get my other distress pad. This one is tea dye. And I have this Stampability stamp that just has circles on it. And I'm just going to ink this up. I'm just giving it a little bit of texture. Alright, so you can see I just gave it a little bit of texture. Now I'm going to go ahead and take a vintage photo and I'm just going to go around this again just to kind of darken up my edges. Alright, so this is definitely something you can write notes on or do whatever you would like. Alright, so I'm going to set that to the side. And I'm going to just take my scissors and I'm going to, I don't quite want it this long. So I'm cutting off about 1.5 inches. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just adhere this down. So I'm taking my glue stick. You can use your wet glue if you want. You're going to see me use some wet glue in just a minute. This paper is very thin, so you have to be careful about how much wet glue you use or it will wrinkle all up. I'm going to go ahead and just put that down. Now I'm going to take my little flap, and I am going to use wet glue on here, and I'm going to make sure that that's glued well. Okay. And one last time I'm going to use my bone folder to make sure that all of that glue is distributed evenly. Now at this point you can do one of two things. You can, in this case I'm going to cut down about 1.5 inches. And I am going to make a little bit different pocket. I'm going to make it with open edges like that. So in order for us to see that, let me slide in my bookmark. Okay, see that? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to just do some distressing. So I'm just distressing the edges with my ink pad. And I'm just going to take a scrap piece of paper and slide it in here so that I can distress these edges. Alright. Okay. So now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and glue these down. Okay. Using my bone folder, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that they're burnished down. And I now have something that looks like this. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and slide this in for a minute. I want to add something to the front of this little pocket so that it's not plain. So what do I have here? I think I'm going to use one of my calico collage images. So I just took and I cut out one of my calico collage images, and you can see this one's kind of big, so let me see what I can do here. I'm going to cut out this amazing lady up here. So these are calico collage images. Are journaling cards or ATC cards, and I am just going to trim her so she fits on here. Perfect. All right. All right, and so I'm going to do a little distressing. And she needs something behind her. I'm thinking maybe I can just take a little bit of this purple and let it peek out. So I'm going to cut, just go ahead. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and glue it down. And then I will cut around it. Just going to leave a little bit of an edge to it. Not much. And that will tie in the purple that's in my bookmark. Perfect. That looks amazing. I'm going to go ahead and just ink my edges. And I'm going to add this little bit of lace here. I don't know if you can see it. So I want to add this little bit of lace just to add some dimension. Maybe I'll add it to the bottom. Let's see. Do I like it on the bottom? Or on the side? I think I'll add it to the bottom. Alright, so I'm just using my Arlene's tacky glue. And I'm just going to go ahead and use the tacky glue to keep my fiber down as well. I'll line it up. That is absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Add just a little more glue under here. There we go. Okay. So now that I have that done, we need to do a little embellishing on here. I'm not going to do a lot, but because I added the lace here and I want to add a couple buttons, I want to add a little bit of lace to that as well. So I'm going to run over and grab some lace scraps. Let's see what I have here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just add this little piece of lace. And I think, look what I'm going to do. I'm just going to use my stapler. I'm just going to make this little hook, little loop over top, and make that cute little loop. Cut that off. Okay. And lastly, we're going to add one more little embellishment. So I'm going to take one more of these embellishments from Calico Collage, one of these little cards. And I think I'm only going to use part of it. I'm going to take these trouser buttons. So it kind of goes along with my theme. Alright, and I'm going to ink up these edges pretty dark to match the other side. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Okay, so there is my little bookmark. I'm going to slide it in here. Has a little tag on the top. Here's the little cover. I do want to add, if I can find my buttons, I do want to add just a button on there. I think that'll, oh, now I can't get my buttons open. Add a little button on here and it is done. So I hope everybody likes that. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and you make these beautiful bookmark pockets. Have a great day. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up.